Today's episode of Dungeon Crawlers Radio is brought to you by Gamers Inn, your one-stop location for all your gaming needs. Located in Lehigh City, Utah, their fun and friendly staff will be more than happy to answer any of your gaming needs. Just remember, Gamers Inn, it's where adventures begin.
Autobots, roll out! Broadcasting live from the DCR studio.
Oh, yeah!
The Geek Revolution starts here.
Excellent!
Get ready for the #1 hit geek radio show out there.
Well, it is impressive, isn't it?
Because it's time for Dungeon Crawlers Radio. Let's get ready to rumble!
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of Dungeon Crawlers Radio, where we're so excited. Mackenzie's shaking her head.
That's not why I'm shaking my head, and you know it.
She's already done with us for the day, and it just began.
We're just starting. So I actually got some nice salted almonds, which are amazing. They're sweet and salty.
Is that the aroma that I smell wafting through the air?
No, I didn't bring any with me today.
Oh.
Why would I bring my almonds to the show?
Am I?
You know, I have something hot right now, and I'm not afraid to throw it at you.
They're really crunchy. Now, if you soak them overnight in teriyaki sauce,
they're roasted.
Oh my god.
They are roasted, so they're actually like pretty soft.
Is this going to be our thing right now, making me go as red as possible? You know, that's not as fun if they can't see it.
Almonds.
Yes, we're just talking about almonds. I don't know what you're talking
flavor
about.
to them.
Just wait till we get video.
Would be such
today's show.
So, with talking about roasting nuts, let's talk about Hollywood and their monetization of everything that we love.
Nice segue.
I mean, really. I mean, okay. My childhood, Transformers.
And we all know. Thank you, Michael Bay.
And we all do go.
You know, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, all of us have like that one childhood memory that we all know, we've known and loved, and we're all excited about because we think back to our childhood, to our first experience, and we get that excitement back.
Yeah.
And now there's this problem that they're like, oh, nostalgia sells. And so they throw something together. Mm-hmm. They rebrand it, they redo it for a new generation, but they do such a horrible job that each one of us have been scarred. I didn't realize that each one of us had one. Transformers,
Transformers.
I'm okay if Sabrina the Teenage Witch comes back.
No.
You say that.
You say
you
that.
would be okay if
But
Melissa
I love
Joan
Salem.
Hart. No, you
I know,
love,
you
you're
love
right,
the
you
old
love Melissa.
Salem.
Melissa's awesome. Melissa, if you want to be on the show,
I
please
don't.
call us. We will interview you right now.
Only if you bring Salem.
And Salem. Yes, we want Salem. If the actor who voiced Salem wants to be on the show,
Nick
I will
McKay.
Yeah.
Please, 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 please.
He is awesome.
I want you to be my ringtone.
No, what you miss
Will you be my ringtone?
was back in the day.
You're right.
What you want already happened.
Well, okay.
And you can't go back there.
So here's a prime example. Netflix and Fuller House.
Never watched it.
Okay, well, everyone loved Full House back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yes,
It was
I
very
watched it,
popular,
unfortunately.
and now they've come back saying doing
I have
Fuller
no memories
House.
of watching that show, by the way.
So that's fine. I watched it back in the day because it was TGI Friday. You had that and Step by Step and
Teen Angel.
and Urkel,
With
Family
the
Matters.
wiper, like the window.
And so we had all
Never
those.
seen any of those.
And then they brought it back, and it's just not funny. It's like they're rehashing the same jokes over and over, just with the kids grown up.
I got everything I needed to out of the first episode when they showed the entire cast.
Yeah.
They made jokes about their
Everything,
current lives,
yeah.
and even the cast members that didn't come back.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, what a nice reunion show.
And again,
And now it's a reunion series.
well, and
Okay, hold on.
and it's cashing in on that nostalgia.
It is.
It is, but at the same time,
But is
okay.
it
So
good?
I'm gonna play like
Devil's advocate.
devil's advocate
All right.
because it sounds like you guys are definitely on the anti Fuller House train. Personally, I really liked seeing the first episode. I thought it was really fun. It triggered some of those old nostalgia moments for me. Jesse seems to have not aged a single flippin' day. He's got to be a vampire.
It's John Stamos. He
Yeah.
literally soaks himself in olive oil every night.
Oh,
Is this a literal thing?
No, I'm just assuming. You know how he's Ben Affleck, in Daredevil,
right.
where he's in that hyperbaric chamber.
yeah.
It's totally
Yeah.
water. Well, that's what John Stamos does, but it's all olive oil.
He has to because
Yeah,
he looks
Because he
amazing.
doesn't look like he's aged
No.
a day, except for he's got shorter hair.
But no, but
And gray.
I appreciated that
great.
show. Like, I really enjoyed the first and second episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after that, I lost interest, but then I went back and watched an original Full House. And actually, what's funny is that the nostalgia of that show is better in my mind than the actual show.
Yeah.
I don't think I can make through regular Full House now because I've just had so much more life experience, and so that our shows are so fast paced now that one it's almost like, oh, Michelle's getting in trouble again.
Well,
yeah, that was fun.
I mean,
And
that's how
I
it
have
is
no
with any of
memories
those.
of watching it, even growing up. Like, I would see it on TV, but to me it was boring.
Well, and that's fine because for you, you're a lot younger.
A little bit.
I mean, when that was on, it was like junior high into high school for me. But you're right. Going back to that old stuff. I mean,
watch the first season of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 80s.
Oh my
even
gosh. Going
gosh.
back, okay, I love
my
Transformers.
gosh.
I have the entire cartoon series, but going back and watching those is really tough because you see all the mistakes now that you never saw as a kid. You know what? Okay, they're
Or
giant
references.
robots that shoot blasters. Why does no one die? You know, Megatron is constantly running away. But you know, in the movies, we don't see that. I mean, you see Autobots getting torn apart,
it's a
getting
real war.
killed. It actually looks like a real war.
Well, it's
And
the
I
same
like
problem with
that, too.
G.I.
That's a good
Joe,
thing
though.
about that.
Yeah.
Even with G.I. Joe, they said you can't have anybody die in this war. If their plane's going down, you have to bail out at the last second.
Yeah.
You always survive. And it was that restriction
Joe?
put on G.I. Joe.
Yeah, G.I. Joe, the
It
cartoon.
was a cartoon
Oh,
back in the 80s.
I was
Yep.
going to say, I've seen the movies.
Yeah, it ran alongside Transformers, and they did have that. And then
I don't
we
think I
hit,
was born yet.
We hit the movie, the Transformer movie, which is still my favorite Transformer movie of all time. Great soundtrack. It was great. And you see Optimus Prime die. Yes, it was devastating for everyone, but that's the first time we saw a Transformer die. And it was like, holy crap. There's something serious going on in this movie. And then you see, first 5 minutes, you see almost every Transformer you ever loved just like blown up, disintegrated, destroyed, and then Optimus Prime dies, and you're just like, oh, what's going on? And there's this new cast of robots, Transformers, and it was great. Devastating, but great. And then you go to the movies, I could care less that Bumblebee can lubricate on someone. I mean, it's just dumb.
That took me a second. I remember when that happened now.
Yeah, it's just all these weird things that Michael Bay did. There's someone that's beeping in the background.
Is that my car?
I don't know.
Is that my car?
I don't have keys on me.
I don't have keys on me
I do
either.
have. Well, it's not my. I'm going to go out and check my car.
Okay.
We have an alarm.
Scott has left the building.
I don't know where to go now. He just walked out on
Well,
us.
I know where
No,
to go
I'm
because
kidding.
I'm also really pissed off about the whole monetization thing. Because really, they're doing what I feel like. Now, I'm also a really big music fan. I don't
Yes.
know if this bleeds over.
No,
into
it
the
kind of
whole-
does. Music is the same thing.
I love rock. I'm a metalhead, basically. And so when Metallica was coming out with an album, they hadn't come out with anything in a long time, and then all of a sudden we hear that they're coming out with a new one called Death Magnetic.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, this is gonna be awesome. They haven't put anything out in a long time. I really like their old stuff from the 80s. And it was like they just took all their old stuff, their old classics, they tossed it into a blender, they poured it into some glasses for everybody with a little bit of ice and said, here you go, here's your corporate slushy.
Did
This
you
should
say
make us some
eyes or
money."
ice?
Ice.
Okay.
And
Because the eyes would be appropriate.
it was ridiculous. And I remember
saying that would be.
I know.
the first song on the main song on, I can't remember what it was called anymore, but it had no element to it. It was just song.
Okay, well,
And there was
you're
no
right.
there was no build, there was no there was no lows, there was no levels to it. It was just song. It was so corporate, and it sounded like hey, could we have some money from you because we're Metallica?
Well, this
That
is
kind of reminds me of Backstreet Boys.
I mean, this is what I really liked about Oingo Boingo.
I love them.
They went out 96. They've never come back. They're not going to do a reunion tour. That's kind of how it sounded. They went out on top. And they're like,
Oingo Boingo.
this is the best way. We're going out when we're on top. That way our music doesn't degrade and so on. I mean, and that's kind of what we have here is, you know, Hollywood wants to go. They have execs that are sitting up there wanting to go, you know, the next big thing because it's designed. I've talked to a couple other people that actually work in Hollywood. It's designed that if you don't have several successes in movies, you're gone. You're fired. You're out of there. I mean, so they're like, I mean, you've got these big executive producers and these people running these movie studios. It's like, I need the next best thing. I need another win, because if it fails, I'm out of here. And that's kind of a bad place to sit.
It is.
Because there is a possibility of having a movie that fails, but later on picks up steam. I mean, we've seen it in several movies, even TV series. You know, technically, Firefly was a failure.
Yeah, and see, there have been a lot of cult classics even that the box office.
I just think nothing's original anymore.
I mean, we still see original content, but it doesn't always make it to the big screen. There's tons of original content coming out in Sundance, but it's not a guaranteed
Exactly,
hit.
and that's the problem, is that it's not a guaranteed. You don't have that extra nostalgia, so you have an extra hurdle that you have to overcome. You don't have a guaranteed income. Which, you know, hey, with Marvel, you know what? That was a chance. That was a risk. Doing the whole Iron Man thing, because they'd already kind of failed with the Hulk.
Yeah.
And so...
And Spider-Man was kind of iffy, but that Sony was taking care of those. Yeah.
And X-Men.
And hit and miss. Even then, hit and miss. Like, some of them were amazing, some of them were flops. But even then, you had that brand recognition. And so it's this risk.
But they did something different. They're like, okay, we got Iron Man. Now let's throw something at the very end that connects it with our next movie.
Yeah, that was the big thing that made them special.
Hook. That was the hook that baited us. Because at the very end, we see a giant hammer in the middle of nowhere. And everyone's like...
No, we don't.
No, we don't. We see Nick Fury.
Oh, excuse me. Nick Fury is first.
And
That's
he
right.
talks to him about the Avengers Initiative.
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute. I've heard of the Avengers, and this is Iron Man.
Yeah. So that was our hook. We're like, what? What's the next movie?
And what a great.
And then we got another movie.
Wasn't Iron Man? It was Iron Man 2 that was the next movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, it was. I think it was number one, and then
I thought it
number
was was it Captain America?
No, Captain America came after Thor.
After Thor. So we got the
But it came out
second
that same
Cap.
summer.
It was the second Iron Man. That's when we saw the hammer. Then we got Thor. Then
I
we got
fangirled
Captain
so
America.
hard when I saw that.
But you're right. We got that hook, and that was something different. Not only that, they did a fantastic job with a superhero.
They planned
movie.
ahead.
And
Like
so,
they actually had a roadmap.
you know,
Yeah.
But-
notes, Disney.
you know, but again, Hollywood
Irony
now
right there.
wants to take what they can guarantee money from. Star Wars. They know it's not a
everyone
swing
Star
and a
Wars
miss.
doesn't have a
You can't blame them
roadmap
for
right
wanting
now. It's just
that.
throwing
Exactly.
money.
That's what I'm saying.
You're right. They don't have a roadmap, but it's still a swing and a miss because they know, ooh, Star Wars fans are going to flock to the theaters.
Exactly.
I still
We
find it
know it's
ironic
guaranteed
that we're
sales.
talking how Marvel was like really, really greatly planned, and now we're talking Star Wars and not so much.
Well, but you're right.
See,
The original.
This is a big problem.
Okay, hold on. So the original 3 were well planned by George
Yes.
Lucas, and then even the prequels, George knew what he wanted
I'm
to do.
talking
George
about when,
had love.
as much as I love
George
Disney,
and
we know I
Steven.
love Disney. I'm talking about when Disney took over.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, we had, like, George knew that there'd be money coming in, but at the same
Yes.
time, he was telling the story that was close to his heart.
Yes.
The first the 3 prequels, we all can agree,
Yes.
were not as great as the originals. But that's the thing; they were close
But we
to
got
his
the
heart.
Clone
They were
Wars
his
out of
heart.
that.
And
You're right.
Exactly,
Fine,
and
yeah.
still led by George.
You're right. And we got tons of books and comics and video
And
games.
Jaina and Mara
Right.
and all these
All
wonderful
those-
characters.
And Star Killer.
Right.
Oh, the clone.
So all those things were still bringing in money, but they weren't. It wasn't like a blatant push for money. You know, unfortunately, the Star Wars movies, at least the current trilogy, is good, but I wouldn't say it's amazing. And I'm a huge.
They
Star
played
Wars
on
fan.
nostalgia for the first one, for
Well,
sure.
they did, and that's what it was. The first one was
Yep.
nostalgia, pull
Absolutely.
all the fans back. The second one was we don't give up. What you think? We're doing our job.
In Rogue One, honestly,
I love Road One.
Rogue One.
I don't.
So
I feel
Rogue
like it was,
One-
hey, let's make this movie and let's take
There
one
was-
little line, and
A lot missing.
there was a lot missing.
But it also
I
filled in
felt
a
like I
lot,
watched
too.
Part of a movie after it was all over.
Well,
Did you
Like,
watch
wait
A New
minute,
Hope
what?
after? Because if you watch the original Star Wars after, it makes it
Well,
feel complete.
okay. So
it also makes the original characters though feel a little less powerful.
But there's a lot of characters in Rogue One that
Died.
well, here's the thing.
But here's
Paid
the
the
thing
ultimate
they
sacrifice.
came
for it.
in. They
That's
came
the
in
first time
as,
we had
oh,
death
hey, these are the heroes, and then you know
right.
nothing about
So
them.
this is
and
the
then they're
thing.
gone.
This is
And
the
it's
thing
like,
why I
wait a
think
minute.
Rogue One was a masterpiece. Star Wars, up until that point, we've already seen that the heroes really get through
See,
everything.
this is my argument, too.
They get through everything. And this is why, when we got to the book Vector Prime, fans were outraged because George killed off Chewbacca. And it was because heroes can only go through so much before something happens, and you finally have that tragedy. In this movie, it's
Blatant.
it is blatant. I mean, it is Star Wars. Let's put it in there. This is a galactic
a lot of the
battle.
deaths were meaningless.
Well, I
They
mean,
were
you get
right.
Walking
that
out
in
and I'm
the
going to
first
die. I know I'm
trilogy,
going to
too,
die.
though.
Like that's
Like I remember when they first go in to attack the Death Star, and you're like, oh, cover me, oh, I can't take him, and I'm
Yeah.
watching the good guys die. And I remember saying that to my dad as a kid. It's like, Dad, it's more realistic because the good guys die. And my dad started heckling. He's like, you want the good guys to die? And I'm thinking, well, I don't want them
you're
to,
right.
but it only makes sense
You're
that
right.
they would die
the
as well.
The natural instinct,
They gonna.
because of everything that we've ever read, everything we've ever seen, is good guys always make it through. We don't know how, but they make it through. I mean, basic storytelling, that is. It is.
because
But see, I
In
love
reality,
Rogue One
that's
for
not
that
the case.
reason.
In reality, that's not the case.
so
we
it
saw
brings
that
in
in
an
Rogue
element
One.
of
Rogue One showed the
reality.
consequences of the war.
yes, and I agree with that. But at the same time, it felt like in that movie they were like, and everybody's going to die. Bah, bah,
Well,
bah,
yeah,
bah. It was meaningless deaths. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Like I
There
feel
were
like
a
they could
lot
have
of
done better.
You're right. The deaths could have been better. We could have
And I would
had
have liked to see at
someone
least one
survive. You're
one
right.
person needed to survive.
If at least one person would have survived, it wouldn't have taken away from their story of all these deaths and their sacrifice, and we could have felt a little bit better about it. I agree.
We did get to see Bale, though. That was fun to see him.
You're right. And again, that was pulling on the nostalgia where they were throwing in R2 and 3PO, where they were pulling in Bail Organa, and they threw in Red 5 and all
Mon
that.
Mothma.
See, and how fun would it have been if they'd have let some of those good characters survive, only to bring them back in the new stuff they're bringing out, much older or
Yeah.
even.
Well,
even
there
maybe
was a theory
offspring
that
from
Jyn
them.
Erso was before.
Well, she was supposed to, because they were going
she
to
signed
do
a contract.
Skywalker movie with a younger Luke, and she was supposed to be in it. So they had filmed the movie, and most of them survived. Then they went back and redid it. What we saw in the trailers
Did
was
we hear that?
from that.
Is that official that some of them
Interesting.
survived? I thought that they were pushing to kill them all.
No.
And they were just waiting for the Disney
There
execs
was-
to say, nah, don't kill
Well,
everyone.
no, they were expecting the Disney execs not to allow that, so they had filmed it that way. And then the Disney execs said, no, there needs to be some more deaths. That's when we got the rewrites, and that's when the movie changed.
And the rewrites really, really bother me because honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the last few episodes that have come out. I feel like they're really rehashed old ideas just put back into play, but there's so much that's already been written that's been out there for decades.
You're right.
That is so much better. And
they
why
threw it
not?
out. Well,
why not tap the sources
I don't
of
know.
those who actually had the real passion for it, and not those who have the passion
here's
for
the
money?
problem. One, we now have fans doing it, which is okay. Two, the main person that dreamed up this vision of this story is not in charge.
Well, I also want to put out there some of that classic stuff that is already out there is like the Indoor Moon TV shows, Return to Endor, which is atrocious. So it's
Never
kinda
seen it.
nice. It's kind of nice. And
We're going to
the
now.
Star Wars Christmas special. It is psychotic, man.
You're right.
Like, some of the
and
stuff
George
needs to
has
be
gone
aired.
back and said, yeah, I made a mistake on that one.
Yeah, we
See,
can all
I-
make
I-
mistakes.
Let's put it this
but
way.
I liked Return to Endor. I won't watch it now because I know I'll hate it. But
Oh, no, it's actually still kind of okay.
Oh, is it?
Really?
Yeah, because I like.
Yeah, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's good.
I like,
but it's
I liked
okay.
Wicket. That
Yeah.
was his name, wasn't it?
Yep, Wicket.
Wicket.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Sindel.
and Sindel.
Yeah,
Who's
the little
Sindel?
girl. That's the little girl in
That's
there.
right, the little
So
Sindel.
a family.
Sindel.
So it's before Return of the Jedi. A family crash lands on the forest moon of Endor,
They're like on a vacation or
Yeah.
something.
and there's these weird lizard guys that live on there. Which, yeah, you didn't know that.
It's like National Lampoon's Star Wars style.
Yeah, and her family.
never wanna see this.
Her brother gets kidnapped by the lizard guys.
thought the mom and dad died.
Her
Didn't
mom
the
and
mom
dad
and
do
dad die?
die in the crash, and then she goes and lives. And Wicket finds her and then takes her to the Ewoks, and they go
she-
on an adventure to save her brother.
Yep.
Yep.
And
She
at some
become
point, the
part of the
Ewoks
Ewoks.
decide to eat her before Return of the Jedi. That's
No,
why
she
we don't
gets
see
off the
her.
planet. In
Oh, she does?
There's a sequel.
The brother dies, though, right?
The brother does die in the beginning of the sequel, and then in the sequel, there's a really fast furry guy that runs super fast, and Wilford Brimley.
I remember that now.
In Return to Endor, that's the sequel.
He's super. Yeah,
And
there's
he's
little-
super cranky. And at the end of that movie, they get enough parts because there's this weird human lady that has these mystical powers, which I'm guessing she's like a Dathomir witch type thing, but they didn't make her look like one at the time. And they defeat her. They get the parts they need. They fix the ship because he's been working on this ship forever, and he was on the planet even before. And they fly off of Endor and go to live to see another day.
It just goes to show you, like, there are things that, retcon can be good. Like, getting rid of stuff can be good. But at the same time, we can't be, as fans, I feel like we deserve better if they're going to play with our nostalgia.
No,
like,
I agree.
Demand better.
Well,
Hollywood,
Did you
get
guys
better.
watch that link I sent you?
Here's the one thing where I can say they failed and did a better job, and that is with the Ninja Turtle movies. The
Ninja
first
Turtles
one,
2.
so this next round of movies, the first one was horrible.
Maybe I should watch the second one when I'm
second
not at
one-
work so
the
I can pay
second one-
attention.
Wait,
was better.
Specify first one, the 1990, 1989 or whatever?
This last
No?
Michael Bay, the first
the
Michael Bay one.
Okay.
The first one was just atrocious.
Yeah.
The
They
second
have
one,
noses. It's really weird.
well, turtles have noses. I mean,
No, they don't.
have you not had a pet turtle before? They do.
I'm living in my own
Okay.
world.
Anyways, the second one was so much better.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't say it's fantastic,
No, not amazing.
but it actually sounded
It
like
played on the heartstrings. It played on your nostalgia, but it also built up and still, like, it was
See,
beautifully
and
it was
I
better
watched
than the first one.
I
and it
watched
was,
that
like,
one while I was at
acceptable.
work one day, so I just had it on in the background, and I didn't like it very much. So maybe I should not
I would rewatch it.
rewatch it.
I mean, it was decent. But again, Hollywood's just going for a guaranteed hit.
Yep.
They know, oh, hey,
There's no originality.
all these 80s and 90 kids are grown up. Let's throw out a He-Man movie. Let's throw out a Thundercats movie. We got Transformers. Let's just keep cranking that out because we're still selling tickets. Oh, Star
I thought
Wars.
the last one didn't do very good.
None of them have been doing very well.
But the initial ticket sales justify.
So, not this one, but the one before it was huge in China. I mean, they made so much money because China was part of the storyline and they were a huge fan of it.
Interesting.
And they're just it's still making money because people
So-
are still going in hopes that they're going to get a better movie.
Do you also think it's part of the international?
It is part of the international. It is. It's both
But is it
domestic
international,
and international
nostalgia for like American stuff, or is it just international? They want to see this kind of stuff continuing.
Well, Transformers, after it ended here, still lived on for several years over in Japan and China. I mean, there's so many separate series that we never saw until they finally came back with Beast Wars. I mean, there's so much. There's Headmasters. There's I couldn't even tell you all the different ones that can still continued on. I mean, at one point, like Optimus Prime looks closer to Voltron. Like not the cat Voltron, the automobile Voltron.
Look at how many different Power Rangers there are.
Yeah.
I love
So
Power Rangers.
yeah, but
See, that's my nostalgia right there. It's Power
yeah,
Rangers.
So, but even then, Power Rangers, we got another.
I haven't seen the movie.
Oh,
I have not.
It wasn't that bad.
it wasn't that great. either.
Well,
I think
I hated Power Rangers growing up.
Yeah.
So when my little girl's like, let's go watch this, and I'm thinking, I love you, little girl. And
So
so we
no.
sit down in the theater, and I'm thinking, you know, compared to the gagging I thought I was gonna do, it wasn't that bad.
It was okay, but it wasn't that great. I mean, it definitely.
It was bearable.
It was bearable. That's right. I mean, it definitely wasn't the last Power Ranger movie we got with Ivan Ooze. I'll give it
that's
that.
true. That's
See,
true.
but I love that movie.
That's okay.
But again,
That
you're
was
now
for
looking
you.
at it through nostalgia's
Yeah.
eyes.
I still love it. I watched it recently, and I
Which
still
is
love
why-
it. It was on TV.
Which is
Has
why
anyone-
I think us doing so.
Yeah, we're starting something new.
We are. So this actually segues into that
Oh.
because someone has suggested, because we do our movie reviews, people like those, but people want us to kind of go back, peel back time, watch those movies, and re-review them.
Which
Some of us
apparently
have never
Return to
seen.
Endor has now just been put up. No, we'll actually start a show. But some
Oh
of us
no!
haven't
This
seen
is all
Return
the
to
same.
Endor, so-
This is the same show.
Okay.
We'll just wrap up. Then we can talk about
okay.
the next
I've,
one.
I've got a quick question then. Have
Yeah.
any of you ever tried to revisit He-Man?
Oh yeah, I have them.
That went from the most manly show as a kid to the least manly show.
Prince Adam is so feminine.
Oh my goodness.
However, go
Everything
back,
about that
go
is
back and watch
feminine.
the 2002 He-Man cartoon series. So much better.
Well, they're
Prince
actually
Prince Adam isn't that way. He actually physically looks different.
I don't think I've ever seen any He-Man.
I have them all on DVD.
We're going to torture Mackenzie.
I have all the posters of him hanging up on your wall in your bedroom.
I used to have Castle
What's wrong with
Grayskull
that?
and Battle
Nothing
Cat,
wrong with
He-Man.
that. I
And,
just figured
yeah.
Mackenzie would like the
But-
Wait, what? I'm so confused right now.
That's okay.
red furry underwear.
Yeah. Yep. That was Beastman. Beastman had red furry underwear.
I thought He-Man had red furry underwear.
It was
too.
orange. It
I'm
was,
colorblind.
It was
You can't-
burnt
don't
orange
judge
and
me.
orange.
Don't
All right.
judge me.
Okay.
Burnt
I'm
orange
not
and
wearing.
orange.
I'm
It was
not.
burnt
That's all
orange.
red to
it
me.
was burnt orange with
I'm not
light
It
orange
was,
over the
it
top.
was shag carpet.
Yep. It was shag carpet
Shag
over his-
carpet briefs.
That was his loincloth.
I am so disturbed right now.
Yep, you should be.
A slight breeze and you would have saw more of He-Man than you ever wanted to see.
So yeah, join us next week. We'll be going over the classic movie review, and we're starting with
Ghostbusters.
We're starting with Ghostbusters.
Which apparently I saw. Why are you showing me that?
Because he
not porn, it's
has
He-Man.
the power!
That's not even a loincloth. What is that?
So,
I told you,
That's his
furry briefs.
underpants. All right, so with that said, folks, we're out of here. We'll catch you next time, and we'll be talking about Ghostbusters.
Who you gonna call?
Apparently not He-Man.
You're listening to Dungeon Crawlers Radio. Please subscribe and follow them on Facebook or Twitter, precious. No, we're even promoting these filthy idiots. Who doesn't like them? Who doesn't like anyone? No, they're our friends, precious, our friends. No, shut up. Please subscribe.